Quinton Adams from BayTrac, and we're actually talking about the business of tracking cars. Quinton, let me greet you and welcome you to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. Maybe let's start by allowing you to tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got into the world of car tracking.
Okay, well, I actually started off in the banking and financing industry.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird turn, but not really. The vehicle insurance part of it.
Sure.
That got me involved with the tracking guys and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I started researching it a little bit and I liked it.
Okay.
So I started training myself in DC electronics.
Okay.
And then in about 2014, I started a company called Algoa Fleet and Access.
Okay.
So what we did was tracking and recovery, and we also did CCTV cameras for vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of expanded into CCTV at homes and business security.
Sure.
But unfortunately, with the pandemic,
everyone was hit. Hit. A lot of businesses were hit by 2020.
Oh yes, and then I was in partnership with a company, a big tracking company, and they unfortunately didn't make it.
Sure.
So I fell back onto fiber because I was doing fiber installations as well.
Okay.
Telecommunications was an essential services
at the time. Sure.
Yes.
True.
So we fell back on that, and that carried us through the pandemic.
Mm.
And then after the pandemic, went back into the tracking side of things again.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to go solo at that point.
Okay.
And then recently, Taryn from BayTrac reached out. Well, we got in contact with each other. She's the national sales manager.
Okay.
And now I'm the new manager for BayTrac sales, fitment and maintenance team right here in Kumani.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of how it happened. Yeah.
Wonderful. I guess the tech space is a space that you love, whether you're doing fiber, whether you're doing car tracking, whether you're doing
everything electronic.
Everything electronic. You like that
that's
space.
My thing, yes.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the different services that you offer at BayTrac, especially that people can get from the Komani office.
Okay, so the services we're offering is fleet management. So it's basically simple tracking on your phone app.
Okay.
All the way to fuel monitoring and even camera tracking on vehicles.
Okay.
The services we also supply is BayTrac, which is for the agricultural industry.
What happens there?
You know, like for the citrus farms, for instance.
Yes.
They have tractors that spray the chemicals,
and
the pesticides,
the fertilizers and all that.
Now we can monitor those tractors row by row as they go. So we can also have reports daily to tell them that row's been done.
This one has been missed.
This one's been missed. Because the system is extremely accurate.
That's interesting. Is this like a software that BayTrac owns and that you
Not really
use?
It's basically all runs on a GPS system. It's just a GPS locating system.
Okay.
That runs on a cell phone, like a satellite.
Network. Sure.
That runs through a ground-based network, basically, or infrastructure like towers and stuff like that.
Sure.
To precisely locate
where a device
the exact
is.
Point where the device is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
In terms of car tracking, how does that work? I know all our cars have got a tracker, even mine has. Obviously, I want you, when you're responding to this for safety reasons and, for protecting the integrity of your work, to give at a high level how car tracking works. Because all I know is that I've got a car track on my car, I've got a tracker on my car, but which I interpret as, something that's put in my car so that if it gets lost, it can be recovered.
Yes, that's stolen vehicle recovery system most of the time. It's basically a unit that's fitted into your vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And it sends a signal as to where your vehicle is, if it's accelerating fast, if it's braking fast, if it's rolling over. So it's got a gyroscope in it.
Okay.
So it can determine the speed that you're going at. It's quite a clever little system.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows you to be able to track your vehicle or vehicles that you own. Let's say you have a fleet of vehicles, for instance.
Sure.
You can track them on your
virtually,
phone. Literally by pushing on the vehicle, it shows you exactly where your vehicle is.
Wow.
So it all works in a satellite, like I said, satellite network system that comes through the ground-based system, and then just picks you up wherever you are.
That is really, technology, even though it comes with a downside, it truly has, positives or upsides to it. Because, and I think
there are definite upsides, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. And when it comes to someone who's working in the space, now the safety element, because I think even though, yes, you're bringing in a little bit of management, the management side to it, but sometimes, we're more focused on the security and safety side to having these systems. So what do you think that what are the qualities that a person that is working in the space needs to have, because there's security, there's safety, if someone could have access to the information on a fleet of vehicles for a company, if they wanted to turn to turn things down, they would. So what kind of qualities do you need to have if you're working in this space?
Okay, I would say attention to detail is very important.
Sure.
Because if you make a mistake, something can go very wrong, and we don't want that.
Mm.
You have to be service orientated.
Okay.
You have to be able to deal with clients.
Sure.
Be able to chat with them.
Mm-hmm.
In the industry, I think good backup is essential. You need a good team behind you.
Sure. Okay.
If you don't have a good team, it's difficult doing something like this by yourself. You need
So
somebody
practical.
that monitors things. You need somebody that goes out and recovers things. You need quite a large team to get everything done. But once you have the team that you want or in place that's working well, you can't go wrong.
Nah.
A good team is always important.
All right. What are some of the problems that obviously vehicle tracking systems come in to address? Like, I know we've already spoken about the safety issue. Like, if someone is listening right now and is thinking whether or not, to get a tracking system into their fleet of vehicles, what would motivate them to do that? What would you say to help them to make that decision?
Well, I would say tracking prevents a variety of things.
Okay.
It doesn't only just monitor your vehicle's live location.
Okay.
Like I said before, it also monitors your speed, the routes taken. You can check all of it on the app. Now, the weekly reports that you can draw from the system can also help you manage your drivers.
Okay.
So let's say, for instance, once a week you have a meeting with your guys. You can draw their driving reports on if they've stayed on their routes that they were supposed to stay on.
Sure.
If they stopped in places they
Diverted
weren't supposed to stop at. If they went to areas they weren't supposed to go into. If they picked up
People.
passengers that they weren't, they're not allowed to pick up passengers most of the time if you're having a fleet. So that all gets monitored. And you can't really get around it because it's in there and it works. So, yeah, it helps you save your vehicles. It helps you train your drivers to be
The way
more
you want them
vigilant.
to be.
Not only that, but be safer in certain areas too. Because, for instance, there's a place called Kai Cuttings on your way between East London and Port Elizabeth.
Yes.
Now, the trucks get robbed there
Okay.
hourly, not daily. As they go up, they get robbed. The guys cut the sails and then they jump in and they just throw stuff off because the trucks go down to about 10 kilometers an hour up there. So if that happens, the drivers can just push the panic button and the
Support
vehicles will
come
will
on.
be there. Yeah. There's also a system where there's a vehicle that can travel with your truck. That
Okay.
can prevent these guys from even getting onto your truck, especially for expensive
escorting
loads.
them or something like that.
That's correct. Yeah. So that's also an option.
This is really, really wonderful. What would you say is what differentiates CarTrack from other, BayTrac from other tracking companies? BayTrac from other tracking companies.
Okay, well, I think for starters, we don't lock people into 36-month contracts.
Okay.
So
Flexible contracts.
it's very flexible contracts, and they're also very customizable to your needs.
Okay.
Let's say, for instance,
I want one
Just
12 monthly.
if you want one 12 monthly, we can arrange it, and then you can pay it whichever way you feel like.
Even if I want to pay like for the whole year once up front and things like that.
Whatever the customer needs, we make a plan to make.
Customized.
Yes.
All right. And what do you find most challenging about the space that you're in, that you feel, this one is not easy, but we find strategies around it?
Well, for me, I like to help people.
Okay.
So I can't get to enough people quick enough. That's my biggest problem.
You're always under pressure, pressurizing
I
yourself.
want to see more people and show them how good the systems really are, and how much fuel they can save, and how they can save on maintenance on their vehicles.
Wow.
Nice feature of these systems too is it can let you know when your licensing is due for renewal, or if you have a service due, or so like I said, it's a very customizable program.
Wow, that you are able to do per the needs of the customer.
Yes. And the customer can run the whole thing from his phone.
All right, Quinton, this has been quite interesting. Before we wrap it up, I want to give you an opportunity to tell us, now that you guys are in Queenstown, how do we find you? Do you have like an office that's set up, or do we call you, or how do we get hold of you?
Mostly mobile, but we do have a workshop. I don't know if you know where the SPCA used to be.
SPCA?
Yeah, it's on the Kakadu Road.
Oh, there at the top,
yes.
top town.
Top town, Blue Rise.
Oh, sure, I can see.
Now there's horse riding stables.
Yes.
High tech, and you go down the little road. Horse riding stables on the right. High tech is in front of you. We're on the left.
On the left, sure, sure, I can see.
Our contact number is my cell number is 081 453 3367.
Yes.
Or you can email us at baytrac.komani@gmail.com. BayTrac with a C only, no K.
baytrac.komani@gmail.com. All right. Thank you so much, Quinton, for coming through and sharing that information with us. It has been truly an interesting conversation.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Pull-up of Uganda Community Radio. That was Quinton Adams from BayTrac, and they have come into the Queenstown space. If you want to visit them, they are around the old SPCA area. They have an office there, but you can also just contact him directly on 081 453 3367. You can also drop them an email at BayTrac. That's BAYTRAC.komani